Or when we talk about relationships, intimacy, and attraction, people often get lost in superficial techniques, pickup lines, or games that only work for a short while. Or real connection and genuine desire come from understanding the deeper layers of human psychology, biology, and emotional needs. Or sex education is not just about teaching the act of sex. It is about cultivating respect, awareness, and the ability to connect on a level that makes a person feel seen, valued, or unsafe. A woman is not drawn to a man because he manipulates her emotions, but because he understands the dynamics of attraction, the boundaries of respect, and the natural energy exchange that occurs in intimacy. To make any woman truly want you, even if she initially shows disinterest, the foundation must always be knowledge and self-control, and the cornerstone of that knowledge is pure sex education, an education not built on pornography, fantasy, or broken social media advice, but on truth, respect, and biology. Pure sex education begins with self-awareness. If a man doesn't know himself, or if he hasn't explored his own body, his own emotional triggers, and his own desires, he will always be at the mercy of external validation. Or a confident man is not confident because women flock to him. He is confident because he has cultivated inner discipline, understands his own sexual nature, and doesn't allow it to control him. In every culture, we see that the men who gain respect from women are not the ones who beg, chase, or constantly prove themselves, they are the ones who radiate calmness, who are rooted in their masculinity, and who have educated themselves about the natural process of attraction. Pure sex education teaches us that sexual energy is powerful, but it must be directed wisely. If you leak it carelessly through desperation, addiction, or neediness, people sense and pull away. If you master it, if you learn to channel it, others feel drawn to you without you forcing anything. When a woman meets a man, her instincts are sharper than his, she can feel whether he is desperate, whether he is hiding something, or whether he is in control. A man who has taken the time to understand how relationships truly work doesn't need to impress her with fake confidence or flashy gestures. Instead, his very presence feels safe yet exciting. Women are naturally drawn to security combined with mystery. They want to feel safe enough to open themselves but curious enough to remain attracted. Pure sex education shows us that this balance is achieved not through manipulation but through self-mastery. For example, when you understand the female body and the way female desire works, you no longer fall into the myths that society feeds you. You stop believing that women only want wealth or status or looks. While those things may catch attention, they do not hold it. What holds a woman's attention is how you make her feel in your presence. If she feels respected, if she feels understood, and if she feels that you are not begging for her approval, attraction can grow even when she wasn't interested at first. A woman may reject you initially, not because she dislikes you, but because she is testing your consistency, your character, or even your patience. Without proper education, a man sees rejection as a dead end. With knowledge, he sees it as part of the process. Another key element is boundaries. Many men fail because they overgive, overinvest, and forget that attraction requires space. Pure sex education teaches that both men and women need polarity, the tension between masculine and feminine energy. If you collapse into neediness, you kill the polarity. But if you stand firm, respecting your boundaries and hers, you maintain the spark. For instance, understanding that a woman's cycle affects her mood and desire can prevent misunderstandings. A man who respects this doesn't take it personally when she pulls away. Instead, he remains steady, showing that his masculinity is not shaken by temporary emotions. That steadiness builds trust, and trust opens the door to intimacy. So any woman want you, or even one who seems uninterested, you must step away from the idea of convincing or chasing. You must step into the path of education, mastery, and respect. You must know how attraction works, how biology drives desire, and how emotional safety shapes connection. The truth is, women do not respect men who are controlled by lust or desperation. They respect men who can control their own urges, who can walk away if necessary, and who do not make a woman the center of their entire existence. This control doesn't make you cold, it makes you magnetic. Or because when a woman sees that you are whole without her, she begins to imagine how powerful it would be to join you. That is where true desire is born. And that is what pure sex education empowers men to create. Sex education is often misunderstood as something purely biological or clinical, reduced to diagrams in textbooks and awkward conversations in schools. But in reality, pure sex education is the most powerful relationship tool because it reveals how intimacy is more than a physical act. It is a deep psychological exchange. If you want a woman to want you, especially one who may not initially be interested, you need to understand that her attraction is rarely triggered by the surface level things society highlights. It is not about perfect abs or a heavy bank account, those may grab attention, but they don't create longing. What creates longing is a man who understands the rhythm of intimacy, the sacredness of sexuality and the unspoken language that governs attraction. Every human being carries sexual energy. It is not dirty, shameful, or sinful. It is life energy, the same force that gives birth art fuels ambition. Pure sex education teaches men how to master this energy rather than being enslaved by it. When a man doesn't understand his sexual energy, he wastes it in shallow pursuits, scrolling endlessly, chasing temporary pleasure and feeling drained afterward. This not only weakens his physical presence, but also his aura. Yes, the unseen field of energy people feel around you. Women especially are sensitive to it, they can sense when a man is depleted, when he is addicted, when he is constantly chasing validation, and they instinctively step back. But when a man learns to harness his sexual energy, when he educates himself on how to channel it into his work, his discipline, his health, and his purpose, he glows differently. His eyes are sharper, his presence heavier, his touch more confident. Women feel this unconsciously. They may not even understand why, but they lean in. Even a woman who wasn't initially interested may begin to notice something magnetic, something different. She feels the stability and control that most men lack. This is why sex education must go beyond biology and into self-mastery. Another aspect many overlook is emotional intelligence. Pure sex education is not just about male pleasure or performance. It is about creating harmony. Women experience intimacy differently. For them, a wrestle is not just physical, it is emotional and mental. If you cannot connect with her mind and emotions, her body will not fully respond to you. Too many men rush into intimacy without ever learning about a woman's emotional world. They think attraction is about persistence, flashy moves, or force. In reality, attraction is about patience, empathy, and presence. A man who listens, who observes, who gives her space to unfold naturally becomes unforgettable. Women remember how you make them feel in your presence. Do you make her feel pressured, judged, or unsafe? Or do you make her feel free, respected, and admire it? Pure sex education teaches that women want to feel safe before they can feel desire. This is why men who come across as desperate or pushy are rejected quickly. Not because they are unattractive physically, but because they radiate unsafe energy. A woman who senses neediness or lack of control doesn't want to risk intimacy. But when she senses calm confidence, when she sees that you are not rushing or trying to take from her, she begins to relax. In that relaxation, attraction naturally awakens. It's also crucial to understand that women are not a single category. Each woman has her own history, her own fears, her own experiences with intimacy. Some may carry wounds or trauma. Others may carry cultural conditioning that makes them hesitant. Without education, men misinterpret these reactions, they either take them personally or try to push harder. With knowledge, a man learns patience and respect. He doesn't rush the process. He creates safety. And safety turns resistance into curiosity. Furthermore, pure sex education also teaches the importance of polarity, the balance between masculine and feminine energy. Masculinity is not about domination or aggression. It is about grounded strength, direction, and consistency. Femininity is not about weakness. It is about flow, receptivity, or an expression. When these energies interact in harmony, attraction ignites. But when a man collapses into neediness, he loses his polarity and attraction dies. Or this is why women often lose interest. When men chase too hard, they no longer feel the pull of masculine energy. The man has surrendered his power. In truth, or a woman want you is not about external tricks. It is about becoming the kind of man whose energy naturally draws her in. This requires discipline, awareness, or an emotional maturity. It requires studying how intimacy truly works, how attraction flows, and how respect is the foundation of desire. Or pure sex education equips men with this wisdom. Without it, they wander blindly, repeating mistakes, chasing women who never stay and wondering why with it. Or they realize that when you master yourself, women notice, and even those who seemed uninterested at first may find themselves drawn into your orbit, not because you forced it, but because you became magnetic. When most men think about sex education, they imagine awkward teachers, outdated diagrams, and warnings about diseases. But pure sex education is far more than that. It is a guide to understanding human intimacy, desire, and connection on a level that changes how you relate to women forever. Or if you want a woman to want you, even if she initially shows no interest, you must step into this knowledge with seriousness. Because what women truly crave is not a man who knows flashy moves, but one who understands depth, respect, and the rhythm of attraction. One of the first lessons of pure sex education is patience. In our fast-paced culture, men are conditioned to believe that if she doesn't show immediate interest, it's over. But in reality, female attraction often blooms slowly. For many women, trust must come before desire. If you don't understand this, you will always interpret her distance as rejection rather than part of her natural rhythm. A man who is educated knows that sometimes the most powerful move is to step back or to allow her to feel his steadiness from a distance. That distance creates space for her to wonder, to question, to become curious. Another vital principle is awareness of the female body. In psychology, a woman's arousal is not a straight line. It is layered, influenced by emotions, environment, and hormonal cycles. Men who lack education often become frustrated when women don't respond instantly, or they misinterpret her hesitation as disinterest, when in truth her body and mind may need more time to align. Pure sex education teaches men not to rush, but to engage her senses slowly, to build trust, to recognize that intimacy is a journey rather than a transaction. This patience is what sets apart a man who is merely seeking validation from a man who is truly irresistible. Respect is another cornerstone. Too many men approach women with a mindset of conquest, as if intimacy is about winning or taking, but this energy repels women. True respect means seeing her as a human being, not just a body. It means listening when she speaks, honoring her boundaries, and never pressuring her into something she doesn't want. Ironically, when a man respects her fully, when she feels that she has the freedom to choose, that is when she begins to choose him willingly. Desire cannot be forced, but it can be nurtured. At the same time, men must also respect themselves. Pure sex education is not about bending over backwards to please a woman at the expense of your own worth. If you lose yourself in the process of trying to make her want, you become weak in her eyes. Women are drawn to men who can give love, but also hold boundaries, or who can be generous but not self-destructive. This balance is magnetic. When she senses that you respect yourself, she cannot help but respect you in return. And respect is the foundation of attraction. Another truth is that intimacy is not purely physical. It is deeply emotional and spiritual. Women crave connection on multiple levels. If you only focus on the physical, you miss the deeper bond that creates lasting attraction. Pure sex education shows that touch without emotion feels empty. But touch combined with presence feels unforgettable. A man who looks into her eyes with genuine attention, who touches her with care rather than hunger, creates an imprint that lingers, even if she wasn't initially interested. Such presence can awaken feelings she didn't expect. Or energy also plays a role. Women are sensitive to the energy a man carries. If your energy is restless, needy, or scattered, she feels it instantly. But if your energy is calm or grounded and confident, she feels safe and drawn in. This is why self-control is so important. Men who waste their energy in addiction or desperation feel hollow, or men who master their energy, who channel it into growth and purpose, feel full and magnetic. That fullness makes women curious. They want to know what makes you different, or why your presence feels stronger than others. Ultimately, pure sex education empowers you to see attraction as a dance, not a battle. It is not about chasing or convincing, or it is about learning how human beings naturally connect when respect, patience, and awareness are present. If a woman is not interested, you don't fight against her resistance, or you embody qualities that invite her to reconsider. You let your discipline, your respect, and your energy speak for you. Over time, or even indifference can transform into desire when she realizes you are not like the rest. A woman wants to feel that you see her, not just her beauty, but her mind, her heart, or in her soul. She wants to feel chosen, not pressured. She wants to feel safe, but also excited by your strength. And all of this begins not with tricks or manipulation, but with knowledge. That is the power of pure sex education. It doesn't just teach you about intimacy. It teaches you how to become the kind of man women naturally desire. Or pure sex education is not only about the science of intimacy. It is also about the philosophy of relationships. To truly make a woman want you, or especially when she isn't initially interested, you must understand that desire is built. It is cultivated through consistency, respect, and self-mastery. Or too many men try to shortcut the process, looking for tricks or hacks to make her instantly attracted, but attraction built on tricks fades quickly. Or attraction built on authenticity, however, lasts, and it only comes when you have educated yourself in the truth of how men and women connect. Or one of the most profound lessons is that a woman cannot respect you if you are controlled by her approval. The more you chase her, the more she feels your energy leaning on her. And when a man leans too much, a woman instinctively pulls back. This is biology. It is written in our instincts. Men who beg, plead, or try to prove themselves send the message that they have nothing of value except their desire for her. Women may tolerate such men for attention, but they rarely desire them. Or desire is sparked by strength, independence, and the confidence that you do not need her, but you choose her. Pure sex education trains you to detach, not in coldness, but in power. When she feels that you are whole without her, she wonders what it would mean to be part of your life. Detachment, however, doesn't mean lack of care. Or it means control over your energy. It means you can express interest without obsession, affection without desperation. This control comes from self-discipline. Or men who practice self-control, whether through managing their sexual energy, improving their health, or dedicating themselves to purpose, carry a different vibration. Or women sense it. They feel that such men are selective, not desperate, and selectiveness increases value. A woman desires to be chosen by a man who could choose many, but chooses her. That is the power of mastery. Pure sex education also removes the illusions created by pornography and false media portrayals of intimacy. Many men grow up believing that women are objects to be conquered, or that intimacy is purely about performance. These illusions destroy real connection. In reality, all women do not seek perfection in the bedroom. They seek presence, patience, and passion. A man who listens to her body, who adapts to her rhythm, or who doesn't rush or treat intimacy as a task, creates an experience she cannot forget, even if she was unsure at first. Or such experiences awaken her curiosity and deepen her desire. Education also teaches men the importance of communication. Many relationships fail not because of lack of attraction, but because of lack of honest conversation. A man who can express his desires without shame, or who can listen without judgment, and who can create a safe space for openness becomes rare in a woman's eyes. Women want men who can understand without being told everything, but also who can speak clearly without hiding. This balance of strength and vulnerability makes a man magnetic. Without proper education, men either become too closed off or too needy. With education, they become balanced, strong yet open. Another truth is that a man must continuously grow. Or, attraction is not static, it is alive. If you stop improving, if you become lazy or stagnant, attraction fades. Women want to feel that you are moving or that you are chasing your purpose more than you are chasing them. That drive excites them. Or pure sex education reminds men that their ultimate power lies not in chasing women, but in chasing excellence. When you become excellent, women naturally notice, or even the ones who once ignored you begin to see you differently. Why? Because excellence is attractive. It radiates confidence, discipline, and vision. In the end, or even one who wasn't interested at first is not about control over her. It is about control over yourself. It is about educating yourself on the truth of intimacy, or the dynamics of attraction and the power of self-respect. It is about becoming the man who does not beg, who does not collapse, who does not place his entire worth in her hands. Or instead, you become the man who is already complete, who invites her to join his journey, and who knows that his value does not depend on her validation. Or women respect men who respect themselves. They desire men who master themselves. They crave men who are present, patient, and powerful. And that is what pure sex education offers. Not just lessons about the body, but lessons about life, discipline, and true connection. When you embody this knowledge, or you stop asking, how do I make her want me? Instead, you live in such a way that the question answers itself. She not because you forced her, but because you became the kind of man she cannot ignore.